We've all been there, tossing and turning at night or waking up feeling like we haven't slept at all. Today we're talking about one of the biggest culprits behind poor sleep quality, and that is magnesium deficiency. Magnesium plays a vital role in regulating hundreds of bodily functions, including muscle relaxation and nervous system activity. Both of these are essential for achieving restful sleep. But did you know that studies suggest over 60% of people don't get enough magnesium? This means that a large portion of us could be unknowingly hindering our sleep quality. But the good news is there is a solution. We can address magnesium deficiency by adding more magnesium-rich foods into our diet. So let's talk about the best 15 you can eat. Starting out at number 15, we have chicken thigh. Now, not only does chicken contain some magnesium, but it also includes the amino acid tryptophan. Tryptophan is converted by the body into melatonin, which is the sleep hormone, and that's why it can help with sleep. Number 14 is salmon. Not only does salmon include a decent dose of magnesium, but it is also extremely high in bioavailable omega-3s. The omega-3s found in salmon have been linked to improved sleep and improved mood. They are also known to reduce inflammation and promote relaxation, helping you to drift off quicker. Number 13, Greek yogurt. Unsweetened Greek yogurt does have a decent amount of magnesium, and it is also rich in protein, which is good for our overall health. And you can pair Greek yogurt with our number 12 food, which is blackberries. Blackberries are low in sugar, they're low in carbs, and they contain a decent amount of magnesium. And as I mentioned earlier, combine them with Greek yogurt, and this is going to support your sleep even further. Number 11 is bananas. Now, we just spoke about blackberries, which are low in sugar, and I generally recommend sticking to more low sugar fruit as often as you can, especially for a lot of people in my community, because they are dealing with insulin resistance, with blood sugar dysregulation, with prediabetes. In all of these scenarios, avoiding high sugar fruit as often as you can is going to be the ideal. But if that isn't you and you're trying to get some more magnesium, bananas before a high intensity workout can be beneficial. When you sweat, you lose more electrolytes, including magnesium, through your sweat. So something like a banana can be beneficial beforehand. But like I said, most people who are trying to address metabolic dysfunction, they are not exercising at a high enough intensity to require higher carb foods like this beforehand. Now, I'm not saying you have to avoid them altogether if you are insulin resistant, but as I talk about all the time on my channel, the way to reverse insulin resistance is to keep insulin low, and you do this by eating mainly lower carb foods. And the same thing goes for number 10, which is sweet potatoes. These also contain a decent dose of magnesium, but they are higher in carbohydrates. So if you do include a few more carbs in your diet, sweet potatoes can be a good addition. Now shifting back to lower carb foods, at number 9 we have avocados. Now avocados are actually a fruit, but a lower sugar fruit that's higher in fat and high in magnesium. And all of this is going to help you to sleep better. At number 8 we have cashews. Because cashews and other nuts are higher in fat and lower in carbs, you can pair them with foods like bananas that are higher in carbs, and this helps to slow down digestion of the carbs and make the blood sugar and insulin response more gradual. So that's one hack that I talk about in some of my other videos on how you can be a bit more smarter about carbs if you are someone who is trying to address insulin resistance. I will link to one of those videos up above. And then we have another nut at number 7, which is almonds. Again, low in carbs, high in fat, and high in magnesium. And now we're going to shift back to seafood. Coming in at number 6, we have mackerel. Like salmon, mackerel is also extremely high in omega-3 fatty acids, which again, reduce inflammation, promote relaxation, and can help with our sleep. It is also one of the best dietary sources of vitamin D3, which is another nutrient that is linked to better sleep quality. Number 5 is spinach, and specifically cooked spinach. Now, I am not the biggest fan of spinach. I think that it is a little bit overhyped. Spinach is extremely high in an anti-nutrient called oxalate, and this actually binds with other nutrients and makes them less bioavailable. And this includes things like magnesium and also iron. So when people eat spinach thinking they're getting a lot of nutritional value, that's actually all bound to this anti-nutrient, so they're really getting barely any at all. Now the catch here is that when you cook spinach, some of these nutrients are released and you are able to absorb them better. So I had to include spinach on this list because yes, it is decently high in magnesium, but I wouldn't recommend it as your first option. Some people are more sensitive to anti-nutrients and to oxalates in particular than others are. So if you know you are someone who is sensitive, then definitely don't rely on spinach for magnesium. But if you're not someone who's sensitive, then yeah, a little bit here and there can help to boost your intake. Moving on to number 4, we have dark chocolate. Now again, this is another food that I don't recommend eating on every day or relying on for magnesium, but it does contain a decent amount, so I had to mention it. Again, high emphasis on the dark chocolate aspect of this, and that also means that it's going to be lower in sugar, which again, beneficial for blood sugar issues, beneficial for insulin resistance. But yeah, don't rely on this as your main source of magnesium. Number 3 is flax seeds. Again, another, well, I guess this isn't a nut, but a seed that is very, very high in magnesium. There are many ways to incorporate it into your diet, just small amounts here and there, and that can help to boost your magnesium intake. Number 2, another seed is chia seeds. Again, easy to incorporate a little bit here and there. Now, the one thing I will say about chia seeds, I know we spoke about omega-3s earlier in this video, and the type that is found in seafood is not the same that you find in chia seeds and other nuts and seeds. Again, this goes back to what we were saying with spinach and how some of the nutrients in it are not readily available when you eat the food. This is the same for chia seeds. It works a little bit differently because the form of omega-3 that's in chia seeds, it's ALA, it has to be converted by the body into the other 2 forms, which are DHA and EPA. These are the beneficial forms, and these are also the forms that are found already pre-converted in seafood. So yes, chia seeds do have some magnesium, but don't be relying on them for omega-3s at all. And finally, at number 1, we have pumpkin seeds. And when I tell you pumpkin seeds are very, very high in magnesium, I'm not lying. Just a 1/4 cup has over 500 milligrams. And those are the top 15 magnesium-rich foods to add into your diet for better sleep. Now, before we wrap up, I just want to say that it can be pretty difficult to get enough magnesium in from foods alone, even if you are eating a lot of these foods, especially if you are someone who exercises or if you live in a hot climate. As I mentioned earlier in this video, when we sweat, we lose electrolytes, we lose magnesium, and that means we need to up our intake. So if you don't feel like you're getting enough, I highly recommend incorporating an everyday electrolyte supplement into your routine. The one that I personally use and absolutely love is Soti's Everyday Hydration Salts. These hydration salts include not only magnesium, but also potassium and sodium as well, and in the correct ratio for our daily need. They contain no added sugar, no added artificial sweetener, and no added other weird ingredients either. My personal current favorite flavor is their new release, the salty raspberry. Oh my God, they have completely outdone themselves. My old favorite was the salty pineapple, still really, really good. Those are probably my top 2 recommendations, but honestly, I do like all the flavors. Soti ships worldwide, and if you want to check them out, make sure to use code KATE15 at checkout, and that will save you 15% off your order. I will put the link to check them out in the description box down below. Now, remember that a good night's sleep is vital for our overall health. When we're sleeping, this is our body's chance to rest and recover. And our sleep quality has such a big impact on so many other aspects of our health. Now, I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comment section down below which foods on this list are your favorite. Is there one you're going to eat more of after watching this video? And if you want some more tips on how to improve your sleep, I'm going to link a video up above that has my 7 top tips that are really easy to start incorporating and that will improve your sleep dramatically. I'll link that up above and you can check it out afterwards. Thanks guys for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.